So some more news is dropping by the day, and it seems to be getting out of hand, but this is from a source on wegotThiscovered.com. Now, again, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, you might want to take all of this with a grain of salt. Mikey Sutton, who's supposedly an insider for these kinds of movies, especially the Marvel Studios movies, is saying or claiming that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness could feature Fox's original X-Men. Now, understandably so, I have my doubts, and I'll explain towards the end of this article. But before we get into that, I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I notice that 57.7% of you are not subscribed, watch my videos, and 42.1% of you who are subscribed watch my videos. So I would gladly appreciate it if you would just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I post videos on a daily. I also do live streams. Right now I haven't been able to do it due to other reasons that I'd rather not discuss. So go ahead and please do so. And lastly, join my Discord where we talk about comic book related content, video games, movies, game news, rants, memes, whatever. All those channels are there for you. And you'll be greeted with a lot of people there who are like you, who are into these kinds of things, like superhero topics and more. So yeah, go ahead and do so. I would be glad to see you there, and we will all welcome you with open arms. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the article. Now, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness could feature Fox's original X-Men. For years, fans in the Marvel Cinematic Universe had been daydreaming about what would happen if the X-Men and the Fantastic Four were part of the shared mythology, a sentiment that was also shared by Hugh Jackman. However, it seemed like wishful thinking as Fox held onto the rights with an iron grip. The Fantastic Four may have been the subjects of 4 terrible movies, none of which exactly set the box office alight. But the Merry Band of Mutants had brought in $6 billion over 2 decades, and the studio were never going to let the comic book characters out of their grasp. Of course, you can't rule anything out when a corporation the size of Disney are involved, with the Mouse House ultimately buying the entire company outright, which saw the rights to both iconic superhero teams fall straight into Kevin Feige's lap. Our savior. The MCU's Fantastic Four is already in development with Spider-Man's John Watts set to direct, but the X-Men could be a long way away yet. Reed Richards, Sue Storm, and her brother Johnny and Ben Grimm don't have the same kind of cinematic baggage as Charles Xavier's students, who appeared in 13 movies of widely varying quality spread across 20 years, and an enforced absence could be beneficial in the long run. There's still been plenty of rumors swirling about how the X-Men could be introduced into the MCU though, with tipster Mikey Sutton claiming the original vintage could be set to cameo in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Sutton does say the chances of Hugh Jackman showing up are slim though, but even roping in the likes of James Marsden, Famke Janssen, Anna Paquin, Halle Berry, and Patrick Stewart will be enough to generate a huge reaction from audiences when Multiverse Madness arrives in March 2022. So I'm very excited for the Doctor Strange sequel. It's one of the movies that I've been looking forward to. This is going to be the opening gate to the Multiverse of Madness, or at least to the multiverse. We already explored a bit about that on Ant-Man and the Wasp, but now we're going to go ahead and explore it even more and further depth with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So it's one of the few reasons why I'm very excited, because it does open the doors to a lot of opportunities for cameo appearances. As it is, Spider-Man 3 is already starting to sound like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in live-action format, with the rumors, or I guess you can say the confirmed reports, of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Emma Stone, and Kirsten Dunst, and in company like Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx. It's starting to sound ridiculous, but all those are starting to sound like gratuitous cameos at this point, and I've said that before, and I'll say it again, it's starting to sound like gratuitous cameos, really. It's just special guest appearances. It's really Spider-Man and friends. And now with Doctor Strange, I don't want it to go into the same exact direction. I do, however, would like, some cameo appearances and some mentions and confirmations of the multiverse, like, for instance, the original cast and crew of the X-Men to maybe briefly show up. And I've mentioned this in past videos, but maybe there could be a possibility that Hugh Jackman can return to the X-Men or as Wolverine, because Hugh Jackman has already stated that he's already done with the role, and he was already finished with that role when he was done filming Logan. That was like his magnum opus, his swan dive, his way out. That was his exit from the role right there. I mean, at this point, he's a little too old to be playing the character now. I think he's already in his 50s. But then again, never say never, because anything is really possible with the right amount of cash. I'm sure Hugh Jackman could return to the role. And that's something that Hugh Jackman's been wanting to do with Kevin Feige for quite a while, but they were never able to do it because Fox had held on to the rights with a grip of iron, really. And they never really wanted to let go because those movies really made money. I mean, they made 21st Century Fox a lot of money. And I'm glad that now the rights have reverted back to Disney and Kevin Feige in particular has all the control and all the rights to make a new X-Men movie. And I'm pretty sure it'll be done right. And on top of that, we already have enough Easter eggs. We already have a certain mutant already roaming around in the MCU, and that's Scarlet Witch WandaVision, played by Elizabeth Olsen. So they just never managed to call her mutant because they can never say that word. But now that the X-Men do exist in this universe, they're able to call her that in the movies moving forward. So I'm pretty excited for this overall. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, once again, is one of the sequels that I am totally looking forward to. And of course, I am looking forward to the Fantastic Four. Not exactly all excited about John Watts directing Fantastic Four. I do enjoy the Spider-Man movies from the MCU, but they're not perfect and they're not exactly the way I envisioned them to be. So say what you want about those Spider-Man movies. I mean, personally, in general, I enjoy the films, but I do have my criticism about it. And I don't want John Watts to apply the same, I guess, principles that he did on Spider-Man onto the Fantastic Four films. I just want the Fantastic Four films to start off like in the comics as Marvel's first family. Don't make any drastic changes to the origins and just do it right. But other than that, guys, I'm pretty excited overall. I'm glad the X-Men are back into the MCU. What are you guys' thoughts? Should Hugh Jackman return? Should the rest of the cast return? You think Patrick Stewart will return as the role of Professor Xavier in the MCU? Because if he does, that'd be really cool. I mean, honestly, I can't see anybody else playing the character, but there's a possibility that someone else can play, because I think Patrick Stewart is also done with that role. So you let me know your thoughts, guys. Comment down below. I want to know your comments. I want to know your theories. And I just want to know your thoughts about this whole situation with the whole casting rumors and everything. It's because it's starting to sound like a bit of a mess, and this cast is starting to sound a bit convoluted. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.